Hello.
Good afternoon from across the ditch. This is Daniel from Middle Temple. Thank you for sparing some time. How are you doing?
I'm awesome, man. I'm really good.
Cool. Look, I'm a prog fanatic myself. I'm usually absorbed in stuff like Circus Maximus, Pagan's Mind, all the good stuff from Scandinavia, but here I am listening to this Aussie band called Teramaze non-stop for the last few weeks. I think Her Hail is the best music you've ever made.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, like every time a band does a new album, it's always their favorite. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes you look back and go, maybe that wasn't so good. But I think, yeah, Her Halo's the strongest album that Teramaze have done so far. I think. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you've mentioned that you've taken quite a deliberately more melodic and cinematic approach with the new album. At times it comes across like a concept album. Was that your intention?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it is a concept album. Just in the way that we wanted to do it, we didn't really want to copy any other sort of style on how to do it,
Of course.
because it probably just wouldn't suit us. But it's kind of it's well, it is a concept album based around a story that we wrote together, Nathan and I, and it's about a trapeze artist. It's kind of more about like an entertainer and an artist, which she's a trapeze artist, and she goes through all the different kind of ups and downs of being an artist, and like a weird psycho sort of love triangle between like a ringmaster and a clown, and and it sort of touches on the basics of what it's like to be an artist, or back like maybe in the 1930s sort of thing. So it's very much a concept album, and I mean, this time around, which was what was new for us, was we wrote the story first, and then we wrote the music to suit the certain parts of the story, and then wrote lyrics. So that was a whole new thing for me as a songwriter as well, to just to do for something, something different, something creative. You man, we don't really have any rules on ourselves as musicians, so it was like, let's just see if this works, and I think I think it come up pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's the only way to do it, isn't it? I mean, not only that, but in a way I can't put my finger on, you guys seem like a more solidified band than ever. Bringing in Louie and Nathan has obviously had an impact musically, perhaps even personally. How did you find them?
Um, well, Louis been in the band for a while now, but he sort of come into the band uh, just before the last album sort of came out. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, but long story short, I think having Louis and Nathan, more so probably personality wise, and drive, and just we all seem to just gel, and we're all from such different parts of life, but for some reason it's really strong unit now, and that's probably what comes through in the music. I mean, previous Teramaze albums, was a lot of it was on my own, and me and the drummer would put things together, but a lot of the time it was just on my own, and then I get the singer in and that. But this time everyone was involved in the story, and the it's just the feel of the whole thing. I mean, like, nothing really changed in the way of songwriting. I mean, I've always been the sort of primary songwriter of the band, but maybe just having different people with a different outlook on what we're doing. Yeah, it's just felt right, man. I mean, lots of good things have happened for the band recently, so a lot of that's probably a part of it as well. I mean, the everyone being on the same page is, it's pretty hard to get four or five people sometimes on the same page, but this is kind of, yeah, that's the kind of next level for us as well. So
No, I can totally see what you mean. I mean, the new album's obviously a hell of a lot more uplifting than esoteric symbolism, for example.
yeah, well,
Yeah, speaking of
that's
things... Sorry?
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
If that's your perception of it, that's actually cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's happy as hell. Yeah, I'm all good for that. Speaking of things happening for you guys, I kind of had to giggle when I heard that Jacob Hansen would be mixing now, and he happens to produce most of my favorite bands funnily enough. How did that happen?
Um, I kind of just, I mean, I've spoken to him a bit before. I mean, me being a producer, I work with, a lot of other people around the world, and Jacob was just one of those guys who were like, I don't want to mix it this time myself. It's just too much work when you're writing it all and playing it all. So, we had a budget to get, someone that we wanted. And we just went, let's get Jacob. It was like, you know,
Yeah, obvious
easy.
choice.
But, there's been times where I've worked with other people with big names and I didn't like what they were doing. So I ended up mixing them like the last two albums myself. But I knew what it was going to sound like. And Jacob he didn't change really anything. He just put his own he just made it work, you know what I mean? And it was just really refreshing hearing someone else kind of finalize it, you know what I mean? So I think the combination of production and then Jacob's mixing is really just, I don't know, it kind of gave the album, I don't know, just like having almost another band member for that time, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like, his ears is like he's hearing it different to how we're hearing it. And I was just like, dude, just do what you do and we'll go from there. And pretty much he got it spot on. Like, I'm working with him again on another album at the moment. And says, so we're sort of building a bit of a relationship with some production. But yeah, and he got it right pretty much first mix, which is pretty rare. So I knew we made the right choice. So
Absolutely. New album. What new album could that be?
it's another band that I have that we're signed to Mascot as well, called Mashiach.
Ah,
It's slightly what's heavier to heavier, more straightforward metal with a touch of progressive elements in it. With the drummer from John Deddy from America, who's toured with Slayer and Anthrax and Testament, Iced Earth. So he's actually in that band. So yeah, I'm pretty flat out at the moment, man, with like two bands signed to a fairly
I wonder.
major label. So it's been pretty crazy for me anyway. But it's all good. It's great.
Yeah, keeping busy, you can't go wrong with that. Yeah. Well, you've also, I don't know if it's actually been released yet, but I know you're going to release a second video from the album for the title track. From all these amazing tracks, how on earth did you manage to pick these two for videos? And after coming out in such quick succession, can we expect more?
Oh, the Her Halo film clip is definitely got a lot more production in it.
Okay.
It's done by the same people, but it was like, we had a little bit more time to sort of think what we want to do, and it's actually a lot simpler of a footage, but it makes sense with part of the story.
Mm.
And the track Her Halo was kind of the label said, look, that song sort of stands out to us. It's just catchy, and it gets stuck in your head.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to do like An Ordinary Dream, but that's like 13 minutes, or Delusions of Grandeur, which is like almost 10 minutes. So, but to do a film clip for that long, it'd be insane, man.
Oh yeah, totally.
I still am trying to push for it, but it's to do a film clip for 5 minutes, like a 5 minute song. There's so much involved in it. So if you almost triple that, it's kind of getting a little bit crazy. But yeah, no, those songs were sort of, I think, out of subconscious. For me, we chose that as a band because I felt it was a natural progression from the last album. Even though we've got a new singer, to me, it still just sounds like what we've been doing, just a step up. And Nathan's got a cleaner voice, but the songwriting and everything still very much sounds like Teramaze. And for the fans we have now, I think Out of Subconscious was a good choice because it was like, I think if we come out with a 13-minute like epic, yeah, I don't know. Half the time we didn't have much time to choose. It's like, quick, choose a song and let's do a film clip.
Okay.
So that was the song that stuck out to me anyway.
Well, look, if you come out with a video for the Innocent, I'll be fairly happy. That's actually also my favorite song. Funny what you said about Out of an Ordinary Dream. Going back to the previous week, I actually heard a lot of esoteric symbolism in For the Innocent as well, especially the opening riffs.
Oh, yeah. Well, a funny story about For the Innocent, because a lot of it was online when we got Nathan. I was actually writing that song for a solo album, but I'm like, it still just sounds like Teramaze. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But with no vocals. I mean, I had vocals for it, but I used it as a audition song to see who could sing on it, and then kind of write their own melodies because I wanted to see if they had something creative to offer the band, and that's how Nathan got in the band. So For the Innocent was it's kind of special track because it's the first song that basically made us want to hire Nathan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we kind of just refined it, and it's very much it could have almost been on esoteric symbolism, but it's just a little bit more, probably a little bit more positive.
Yeah, you actually just remind me. I think it was last year. You guys actually put that out on the internet as a demo, and I was wondering why it sounds so familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just-
Um.
that was a little test that actually worked.
Yeah. Um. Couple of other cool things going for you guys. One being uh, signed up with Infinity Tours for South America, so there's obviously possibility of shows there. But also Warner Music in Japan has been plugging you guys over there. Now, given how big Circus Maximus is over there, something could happen for you guys to tour in Japan, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like we literally, Japan was sort of, because we got Warner distribution, which is 88 in the rest of the world, but no one knew what was happening in Japan. Japan's sort of like a weird, you know, it's just a weird sort of market, but we've always wanted to get in there because I think our style would, do well there. And then we found out literally 2 days ago, it's like actual Warner Brothers themselves taking on the album in Japan for distribution. So what that means is, I don't know. I mean, we've never had our albums in Japan other than through, Amazon or something, but it will open up some major doors. I mean, the label we're with, man, like they're a pretty, full-on label. They're not the major label like Sony, but they're just, sitting underneath there. So they want to do things properly,
Yeah,
and
totally.
that's been I mean, it's been a huge difference. Having two film clips and the, production of the album. I can hear the difference of having a good label behind the band. You know what I mean? And I think everyone else can sort of see it too.
Yeah, it's quite interesting you put it that way. Look, yeah, the funny thing is about Japan, a lot of bands tend to be bigger over there than they would say even in their home country. Like you can go there and a band like Circus Maximus can sell at a bloody arena. It's
Oh man, yeah.
ridiculous.
When I worked with Jeff Waters from Annihilator, I don't know if you've heard of him,
Yep.
on the Anhedonia album, the two albums ago, he basically said that he has survived, well, not just survived, but he's lived quite comfortably with the success of Annihilator in just Japan itself and Europe. And he
Wow.
was like, it's because America never, for some reason, took Annihilator in, but he was like, dude, like, Japan's the place. So it's been, a few years, and we're like, now we've got like, well, the biggest distribution company pretty much in the world, other than, I don't know, Universal or something,
Mm.
to release the album in Japan. They might only sell two albums, but it's a, it's a step in a big way. Do you know what I mean? It's not in a small way. It's like,
Totally.
check this band out. If no one likes us, then oh well. But hopefully it takes off. Well, look, yeah. I mean, we have the same manager at the moment. Well, the guy who signed us, he was the guy who signed Dream Theater
Oh,
25 years ago. So we have the original Dream Theater manager managing us,
no shit. That's awesome.
which is Jim Patulski. Yeah, so that's been pretty crazy too, man. Like I'm always asking him questions about, the early days of Dream Theater because they're like, one of my favorite bands. And it's like it's a little bit surreal, but it's all good and it feels right, like a natural progression, and we're, hopefully getting better at writing music and playing our instruments.
Oh yeah. Hey, when it comes to local shows, are there any plans for touring Australia in support of the new album?
We actually booked some shows. Actually, this is not announced yet, but we're doing a show with the Heavy Metal Ninjas from New Zealand
Oh, cool.
with
They're a great band.
Yeah, Richie Allen and another guy called Pliny. That'll be in February, and we got a headlining show in Brisbane. Uh, it's not 100% confirmed yet, which pretty much is. I'm actually literally looking at flights and that at the moment, so it's but that it's going to be in February as well. But we've also got some touring stuff that we're looking at around February for overseas. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but February seems to be the time where the gigs are starting to be booked. We
Yeah.
do have a show in New South Wales in end of October as well. So yeah, we're starting to get things moving in that sort of direction. We haven't played for a while either, so
Have you guys actually played live with the new lineup yet at all?
no,
Oh, okay.
no.
That could be
I
an
mean,
interesting experience.
we've rehearsed a lot, you know what I mean?
Of course.
But I mean, me and the drummer Dean have been playing together for 4 years or something now. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well,
Well, as a rehearsal, I mean, it's the tightest band that I've had for sure.
oh
It's
yeah.
even Louie on the bass has added a professionalism as a bass player that I haven't had before. He's just phenomenal musician. So just that in itself, which is why I've only gone to one guitar. 'Cause
Hmm.
just don't. It just kind of makes it a little bit difficult for me, but that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably won't even need a second guitarist for live shows.
No, no,
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, we're still sort of we use some backings for the keys because we don't have a keyboard player live with us,
Okay.
but we're kind of looking into that. Which is, I don't know, man. It's such a tight knit band at the moment that it's really hard to want to add someone else into it. But there's so much keys on the new album that it's like, what are we going to do?
Well, when you've got a chemistry like that, I mean, uh, some bands have actually even come out and said we don't want to add any more people because it might disrupt the chemistry we've got going on. Is that kind of
Yeah,
what
and
you're
that's
getting at?
that's exactly where we're at. It's like, uh, so we're going to do a few gigs and just see how we go. 4 piece. There's some keys and other stuff on some backing, but I mean, there's a lot of songs that don't have keys from the last two albums, so it's a bit of I mean, probably 50% of our set will be with some backings, but it's just ambience or a bit of piano or something. It's not like it's over the top. So I want to see how it goes. I mean, it's 2015, like things have changed. You know, if we find a keyboardist that actually wants to live and breathe and shit Teramaze, then
Yeah.
really that's but I'm not sort of trying to go out of my way to find it because I find that you end up just with someone that that'll do, and 5 months down the track they're like, oh, this is too hard or something. So I'm just waiting to see
Hmm.
what happens. Yeah, just see how it goes. I mean, it doesn't bother us at the moment. It sounds great just as it is. So, but in a perfect world, we'd probably have a keyboardist. Well, we do know a guy that would session play for us anywhere, but not really into that.
Yeah, you guys would probably be looking more so for a stable member, but hey, nothing hurts
Yeah,
with backing tracks for now.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like keys. I mean, there's so many bands do it.
Yeah. You're a producer yourself. What other projects have you got currently going on apart from Meshiak?
Oh well. At the moment, I'm working on the new Damnation's Day album.
Oh, good to
That's,
hear.
that's my drummer's other band. I produced their last album and played some guitars and leads and all that sort of stuff on it. So this album's we're halfway through that at the moment. There's a band from Australia called Bane of Winterstorm. They're like a symphonic sort of metal.
Oh yeah.
They're really cool sounding band. I'm mixing their album at the moment. It looks like I'll be working on the next Vanishing Point album. You've heard of Vanishing Point?
Oh yeah. I've heard of them. I've actually even seen Damnation's Day with Nightwish before. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been in New Zealand, yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Lastly, I guess I'm gonna give you a chance to do a little plug. You say you can talk about your guitars forever. Why Ernie Ball?
Oh man, well, it goes back probably, I don't know, probably over 10 years that I was playing a lot of other guitars for, at the time, and literally just saw a guitar in a shop one day. I didn't even know what it was, and I said, "Can I play that?" And it was fairly expensive, but that day I went, "This is the guitar for me." It was a Music Man Steve Lukather model. I didn't even know who Steve Lukather was, which is the guitarist from Toto.
All right.
And it was just, and that was, I had that original, my original Luke for years, and then bought a couple other ones, and then I become uh, endorsed by them. I mean, like I was doing a lot of stuff at the time on TV and all sorts of stuff, and that was like almost, or was a dream come true to be endorsed by the company that I absolutely just loved. You know what I mean? Instead of just settling for a company that was going to give me some guitars that I didn't really like. So, man, I mean, but now they've brought out models that are like, I kind of get to customize them a bit to what I like with the reflex models, and yeah, man, I don't know, they just make a good guitar. I mean, John Petrucci's been with them now for 14 years, and like, he can't be wrong.
No, no, of course not.
You know what I mean? They just look, they suit my style of playing guitar. Like, I've played a lot of other guitars recently, and they're great, you know, guitars. There's plenty of guitars out there, but there's just something about the necks of the Music Man that just feel right. It's like they're unfinished or they're roasted or something, and it's just, I don't know, it just feels like a real instrument to me. Some guitars just feel like plastic. I won't name any names, but they just feel like plastic, and the neck's plasticky, and I'm like, nah, like. So I think it's more of like a grassroots sort of thing with the Music Man. They keep things, well, they're an expensive guitar, but you know, they're so well made.
You get what you pay for.
Exactly. I mean, they're not stupidly expensive. I mean, like, but you know, being endorsed has made it, you know, easier for me to get my hands on a fair few of them. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so I, you know, asked for customized necks and stuff, and they've made them for me, and I was like, I was blown away when they made my first sort of customized reflex guitar, which is a green sort of sparkly thing
I've seen that.
that I've got. Yeah, and it was just like, this is just nuts. You know what I mean? So they're a big company. I'm like, I'm no one on their list. You know what I mean? They got Petrucci and Steve Lukather and Steve Morse, and I think Joe Bonamassa plays them. But and yeah, they look after their you know, they're artists, and they're good people, man. Like, I went over to LA and played the big music convention, NAMM.
Yep.
Was it actually this year? Yeah, it was this year. And they're just like a good, like, they're a big company, but they're like all family, and like the boss, you know, will sort of jump up on stage and introduce me and that. So it's like, you know, you don't have to go through heaps of people to try to talk to the actual company. It's
Yeah.
like, that's the company, and these people, you know, they always say, yep, or no, we can't do that. So for me, man, like, it's just, yeah, working with them has made it even just so much more better. But I would play the guitars anyway if I wasn't endorsed. Well, I was playing it for 10 years.
All right. Yeah. That's, it actually just reminded me of something. Do you see a lot of people asking or feeling entitled to endorsements? I've seen that happen a shit ton over here.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know if that's common over there as well.
Yeah, that's common it's extremely common in the industry. Look, put it this way, like, you need something to offer the endorsement, the companies that you want to endorse you. You know what I mean? Like, why would a company give someone all this stuff and promote them and that when, you know, you're just sitting in your bedroom playing your guitar? Like, unless you got some really cool videos and, you know, well produced videos with great sound, and you literally are passionate about a lot. You know, I was passionate about Music Man. It was like so obvious. So to them, it was like, you know, you love our product as much as we do, so they can work with that. There's no bullshit. There's no, you know, lying. It's like, oh, I like this guitar. and it's shit. You know what I mean? Like I've seen that. I've seen people jump around endorsements a lot. I mean, the endorsements do change a bit, but something like a guitar, it's like it would be pretty hard for someone to convince me to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? And it's not like I get paid by them. It's just that the guitars, I want to play these guitars. It's the end of the, you know. But people are kind of like searching around, going, "Oh, you know, I want this company or that company." And it's like, why should they endorse you? I mean, you need to give them a reason. That's
Yeah.
how I see it. And I mean, I get asked a lot because I've got a few endorsements, but I mean, you know, you got to sort of, you got to give back instead of just taking. You know, what I mean, lots of people ask me about, you know, how'd you get that? And can you hook me up here? Can you hook me up there? And I'm
Oh,
like,
of course you do. Yeah.
and
I can imagine
I'm
that.
okay with it. I'm okay with it if it's someone that, you know, is out there like pushing pushing the brand already. Because, you know, what I mean, then there's no like, it's not fake. It's hard to say, hey, check out this guitar pedal, and you actually hate it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, so I think, I don't know, advice on trying to get endorsements is you need to be kind of almost promoting the product itself for them to look at that and go, look, if we work with this guy, we get, you know, almost free promotion, you know, in the metal community, or it doesn't matter, in the pop community, it does not matter. So it's got to work both ways, you mean, but just a lot of musicians these days, you know, just think that it's just part of being a musician, and it's kind of not really. It's like, I don't even think it comes down to ability. It comes down to sort of how you can promote yourself, because at the end of the day, no one else is going to promote you better than you. You know what I mean? It's, we're artists, we're entertainers, and it's like that's a big part of it. So it took me years to realize that, but now I do. I'm like, you know what I mean? The people that are successful in the music industry sort of cover a lot more bases than just going, I'm good at guitar. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Write a cool song, or, you know, make a band that people want to actually listen to, and, you know, make a product that's better than someone else's, or unique at least. I don't think it's about better, it's just unique. So I just think it's the same as, you know, endorsements, but I'm probably just rambling. But yeah, I see that a lot, man.
Hmm. Well, I mean, doing music for the sake of free stuff kind of defeats the point of doing it in the first place.
Oh, yeah, man, it's just like I said, I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. If I had no endorsements, I couldn't care less. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The fact that I do have, it's really, really cool. But I feel like it's just a progression from working hard.
Yeah.
Like, give me. It just, that's just stupid. It's like, that's like any industry. You can't just sort of constantly take. It's not gonna work. It's, you know. So yeah, it's a, it is a weird kind of subject because, yeah, I hear it a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? That was actually all I had. So, thank you very much for your time and best wishes.
Thanks for the, thanks for the kind words and the really cool review on that, man. It's appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for making the music. Um, yeah, I will catch you around. Bye bye.
Take it easy, man.